Hey y'all, it's me Amanda, and today I'm going to give you my Stitchy update for September and October. At least I'm filming this in the middle of October, so hopefully I'll get it posted within a day or two, but you know how things are. My kids are downstairs watching stuff, and hopefully we can get this done in a reasonable amount of time. So, stitching wise, this is going to be a quick update. It's going to probably be a longer talking about what's happened to me in the past month, but let's go ahead and do the stitching. Again, I don't have much to show you. I have 2 finishes and a start. But hey, finishes is a good thing, right? So, as you might remember, last time I talked to you guys and made a video, I was working on Mai, which is my geisha. She's a Dimensions gold collection kit. Well, unfortunately, I kept making mistake after mistake, and I was frustrated, so I put her down. So I decided to work on Steampunk Seaserpent by Samsarah Designs, and I finished it. There it is. I'll zoom it in a second. Isn't it cute? I stitched this on 28 count Cassia linen in platinum. Oh, let's get it over here. There we go. Isn't it cute? This one uses All Weeks Dye Works threads. Very, very colorful and fun. I enjoyed it. There is a mistake, but it's minor. So over here, up on the top with his dorsal fin, I made a little mistake. I think there's 1 extra stitch here. So I took out 1 stitch over here and everything worked out swimmingly. So I want to make a joke about like Ingeborg and her fish husband, but I don't really know the right joke to make. So just insert your own fish husband joke. All right, next. It was Halloween time, and I was ready to work on my Halloween project again. And things lined up pretty well. I finished my fish right in time to work on Matilda Hornbuckle by Notforgotten Farms. It's from the 2013 Halloween Just Cross Stitch issue. Let me tell you, this 2013 edition, real solid. There's a lot of good stuff in here. So she's from there. Oh, this one is on 36 count Wren by Picture This Plus. I still have a lot of the fabric left, so I gotta cut her out. But here she is. Oh, she's so cute. She's with her little shoe dress and her pumpkin head. So I'll try to get her a little easier for you all to see. So there she is. She's a quick stitch. She's not very big. The longest part was, of course, the shoe. But I'm happy I got her finished up. And I got her finished up very recently. So I finally got to start a new Halloween start, and I've only started this just yesterday. So don't expect amazing progress here. But it's the Cricut Collection Sleepy Hollow. Yes, isn't that fantastic? I am stitching this on 36 count Light Amsterdam Blue by Silk Weavers. And that's my progress, which, you know, it's the middle of the thing. I'll just show that for a sec. It's over here. It's just the middle, that thing. It's supposed to be a bridge, I assume. It does not look like a bridge because it looks like a weird tombstone. Anyway, I started there because this one was custom cut and dyed for me. It wasn't like a custom dye job. It was one of their previous colors, but it was custom for me. So, all right, 5 minutes in and we're done. That's it. That's all for stitching. I haven't bought anything. In terms of bobbinating for my new bobbin system, I am just up to 500 now. So I guess I'll tell you my progress each month. I don't do it. I do it every once in a while. Usually when my kids are taking a bath, I do some bobbinating because that way I'm right next to them. I put on, my son is really into the ocean, so I put on like an ocean documentary, on Disney Plus. But my son really hates orcas because they eat seals. And I put on belugas. And apparently orcas eat belugas, and now it's like he came up very panicked that there were orcas. Anyway, I like orcas, but yeah, they're kind of dicks, you know? Sorry, pardon the language. Okay. That's it. That's all the stitching news for right now. So I will give you a life update. I'm going to try to keep it not too long because there's a lot has happened recently. It's been a lot. So basically, one day, like a few weeks ago, my daughter woke up and her face was poofing up. She clearly had an allergic reaction to something. Brought her to the doctor, got her some meds. The meds weren't helping. Got her more meds. They still weren't helping. She woke up the next morning with one of her eyes completely shut because it was so poofy, and the other one was like closing in. So I brought her to the emergency room, and finally we got her... After we had to stay there for a few hours because it was slow. They gave her slow-acting steroids. She finally started to get better. We had to have her on prednisone. Having a 3-year-old on prednisone really sucks, but... And then the Tuesday after all of this, she started vomiting. She woke up vomiting. And then she kept vomiting like every half an hour. It was awful. Having your child sick really sucks. And this is one of the things the doctor told me. If she's vomiting or has diarrhea, like, let us know. It could be something serious. So I call them. And I call the doctor. Bring her into the doctor again. The doctor looks at her. She seems okay. We get her put on an anti-nausea med. So my daughter's on... And part of the reason I think she needed to be on an anti-nausea med is she really needed to be able to take her medicine. And it was possible that the prednisone could have been causing the vomiting. Okay. That night, I have this stabbing pain in my chest on the right side. I'm not going to describe the specific area because it's a little bit of a crude description. But anyway, and then it starts like spreading to my back. It felt like heartburn, so I take a bunch of Tums. The Tums don't do anything. Finally, I take ibuprofen and it goes away. My husband's very convinced it's a gallbladder attack because I've had this happen before, but it was the worst. It was extremely painful. Okay, the next day, I felt off. And there's no better description than I felt off. I was very, very tired. It wasn't like me, super tired. I'm always tired, but like this was like I just couldn't do anything. And then it got worse, and then I started having both diarrhea and vomiting at the same time, which if any of you have ever gone through that, I just wanted to die. It was awful. So I'm sick, and I apologize. I hope that's not too graphic. Okay. So I'm very sick at this point. I'm also having hot flashes or chills. It goes back and forth. I was unable to sit up. I had to lay down, or otherwise I would get a hot flash and I would feel like I'm going to pass out. Or I'd be laying down and then I'd start getting chills. It sucked. So husband brought me to the emergency room. Great time. Had to wait 3 hours to get me in. They did an EKG. My heart was fine. My blood pressure was high at the time, but by the time I left, my blood pressure was actually kind of low. Anyway, they did an EKG. Heart's fine. They did a CT scan, thinking it was my gallbladder because the doctor agreed with my husband that it all looked like gallbladder, but it was fine. Nothing. All my organs looked good. Gallbladder didn't seem like anything was wrong with me. other than I was sick. Gave me fluids and anti-nausea meds and pain medication, which at that point I didn't really need the pain meds. I got the prescription for my pain meds, but I ended up not taking them because I didn't need them at that point. Even just having the fluids made me feel a lot better. Like, I didn't even have the anti-nausea meds, but just the fluids, because I was very dehydrated at this point, and I'd been laying on the floor of the ER for 3 hours, so I wasn't feeling too great. So just laying in a bed with fluids really helped. Okay. Then the next day, my husband gets sick, and we realized that it was, in fact, some kind of bug. He gets sick a little bit differently because my husband has a stomach of steel. That man, we've been together for about 13 years at this point. He's never vomited the whole time we've been together. I have a weak stomach, so, I don't do well. But he has a stomach of steel, so he didn't feel very good. And then my father-in-law got it after that. The good news is that they both just kind of had like tummy, like they just didn't feel very good, but they didn't have the issues that I had. So fortunately, they got a milder version of what Sammy and I had. Fortunately, my son didn't get sick. Anyway, long story. So in conclusion, let's talk about my daughter first. We don't know what caused the allergic reaction still. I'm going to get her appointment with an allergist, and we're just going to hope that we can figure out what is going on there. And hope that she doesn't come in contact with whatever gave that problem originally. She and I are both still itchy. Now, remember on my last video I said I had poison ivy? Well, I did. I did go on prednisone. It was awful. Prednisone makes me not sleep and makes me very cranky and mean. So it was tough. Okay, so went on prednisone, and the poison ivy went away. But once I was off of it, I got itchy again, and I realized. Remember how I thought it seemed like I rolled in poison ivy? It wasn't all poison ivy. There were like 3 spots of poison ivy. The rest of it was something else, and I still don't know what it is. I think it's eczema. My daughter's itchy still too. I think either we're allergic to the same thing or we both have eczema. So anyway, we're going to get her tested, and we might end up having to have her go to a dermatologist if the allergy appointment doesn't help. Okay. Now my kids both have colds, so they're both home today. My daughter would have been home anyway, but it's only a half day. It's fine. There's parent-teacher conferences later today, so. Okay. Now, that was a lot of, negative, health issues. You know what? All of it really is small potatoes overall. Overall, we're all pretty healthy. We're going to get over the cold. It's going to be fine. There are positive things that have happened too. I got a new guitar, which is really exciting. I got an Eastman. I forget what model I got, but it's a lot easier to play than my old guitar. My old guitar, I don't know if you guys know anything about guitars, playing guitar. There's F chord, which is typically played as a barred chord. There's other ways to play it, but I play it as a bar chord. And I could only get it maybe half of the time on my old guitar, and now I can get it more like 75% of the time. I have trouble with certain things, but I'm sure who cares? But I got a new guitar, and it's easier to play. That's all you really need to know. My garden it's wound down at this point, but it's fine. I'm kind of over it anyway. It's probably good that I live in a place where it's such a short gardening season, because I don't know if I'd have the energy to be a year-round gardener, to be honest. It's nice to be able to take a break as much as I love it. It's good. It's been really beautiful here. We hit Peak foliage was like a couple of days ago. It was absolutely gorgeous. We're now hitting the point where what happens is the leaves kind of, when they stay, once they're nearing the end, they start to turn brown and then they all fall off. It has been raining a lot for the past 2 days, so they're probably, a lot of them are going to fall off. So unfortunately, I didn't get good like video footage of the leaves, but I did take some pictures. We'll see what I can share. I know, I'm sorry. There's not a lot of, I'm not being very positive, but to clarify, like overall things have been good other than all these weird like health issues that we were all having. One thing I forgot to mention with the health issues, I talked about my daughter and her allergies. I don't know with my thing if I really have gallbladder issues or if it's something else. We're not really sure on that. I do think it was a stomach bug, but we also think that maybe it was a bit of both. Like maybe I was having gallbladder issues at the same time as a stomach bug or what? Because none of the stomach bug doesn't explain the pain I was in, so I don't know. My life update section is way longer than the stitching section, but again, I'm not insulted if you guys are like, I don't want to know your life update. I don't need to know all about your nasty sickness, so not insulted if you stopped early. It's cool. Although obviously you wouldn't hear me right now if you stopped early, would you? Okay, anyway, I hope you're all doing well. Bye.